What's going on, Dub Nation? You're watching Warriors Today by Chat Sports. I am your host, Tyler Smith, and on today's show, we're going to discuss some Jonathan Kuminga injury news as he did leave last night's game against the San Antonio Spurs, but the Warriors did get some big news as they got a big win against San Antonio, and that's huge for the NBA playoff picture as there is only 8 games remaining on the Warriors' schedule in the regular season. Let's hop right in, though, to Jonathan Kuminga's injury, which we'll discuss on the first half of today's show, and I want to paint a little bit of a picture here as to what actually went down in the second quarter of the Spurs and Warriors game. Kuminga was attacking the basket, went up as if he was going to, put up a shot, but was going to pass out of it, and then ended up falling awkwardly on his tailbone and kind of got his legs stuck, right? Like his feet kind of just stuck to the floor, and he tweaked his ankle a little bit. That same right ankle that made him miss 31 games already in the regular season. Anthony Slater said this upon the injury. He said, Jonathan Kuminga, right ankle soreness per the Warriors, will not return. That's the same ankle that kept him out for 31 games. Very unfortunate news here for JK, who's kind of coming into his own a little bit over the last couple of games. Didn't have a great start to his return after coming back from the ankle sprain, but he seemed to be turning the corner a little bit and being more of a passive player, making the right reads, attacking the offensive and defensive glass. He was solid, but this is an unfortunate setback for JK. Sam Gordon said this after he spoke with Steve Kerr. Jonathan Kuminga is due for an evaluation Monday. Warriors head coach Steve Kerr said he saw Kuminga at halftime and, quote, such a bummer, just coming back, finding his rhythm, playing well. So hopefully it's nothing too serious. Yes, we hope it's nothing too serious for Kuminga because we want this Warriors team at full strength. Kuminga, during the break, said he's quote-unquote straight. And he also had a good mentality and positivity about the outlook of his injury during the 31-game stretch that he missed from the ankle sprain. So can't take Kuminga's word to be 100% certain, but he says he hopes he does not miss any time from this new injury. And it's being called soreness. They're not calling it a sprain right off the bat. But at the end of the day, man, this guy just can't catch a break. Like, he's just missed 31 games for what it felt like the longest time missed on an ankle sprain that I've seen in recent memory, and now he tweaks the same ankle again. It's just really unfortunate for a player who is trying to earn himself a big payday, is trying to cement himself as a pillar of what Golden State's trying to do in their future, and he just keeps kind of getting the short end of the stick. Since his return, he has not been the player that he was in the previous 10, 15 games before the injury, only averaging 13 points a game, and this is his first, 10-game sample size with Jimmy Butler on the roster. His efficiencies are down from the field. Anytime he shoots a jump shot, I'm praying it actually hits some part of the rim before it hits the backboard or just doesn't hit it at all. 3 of 19 from long range. So again, not the floor spacer that is going to be conducive to Golden State hitting a bunch of threes because defenses don't really have to respect Kuminga from long range. The assists, the rebounds, they're all low, and just overall has not been the best overall fit for Golden State in this new mold with Butler and with certain guys getting big minutes and Quentin Post elevating the rotation, Guy Santos elevating the rotation. Kuminga has not looked the best when he's out there on the floor, and if you can't play with a guy like Steph, like that's just not not great because he's a really, really easy guy to play with. But don't be surprised if he ends up missing time because of this injury. I know there's only 8 games left, and I'm sure he wants to be out there on the floor as much as possible, but this is also a protected investment. Joe Lacob loves Jonathan Kuminga. He's 22 years old. You don't want to risk long-term injury here, especially with him being due for an extension. And, to kind of segue into that, this stinks for Kuminga, who's trying to get big money. Now, keep in mind, he and his team turned down $30 million a year from the Warriors before the season began. And I'm not saying that this is a karma thing or anything like that, but Kuminga turning down that level of money to bet on himself to go out there and make $35 million a year plus, it doesn't look like it's paid off so far, but I know Golden State still wants to re-sign him long-term. We'll keep you guys updated as this Jonathan Kuminga injury continues. That's why you guys subscribe to the channel. But if you want the Warriors to be 100% healthy, because Gary Payton II is still out, and we have no timetable on a return from him just yet, hit that thumbs up icon. Smash it. Like today's video to send good vibes to the Dubs so they can head into this postseason race at full strength. The Warriors got that big win over the San Antonio Spurs last night. It was a solid performance. Yeah, solid. They almost put up $150, and they won by 40 over the lowly Spurs. Yeah, they didn't have De'Aaron Fox or Wemby. it wasn't a great team that was out there against Golden State. But I don't want to talk about the Spurs and the opponent that Golden State actually beat. It's the fact of getting a win and getting yourself back into the 6th seed in the Western Conference. If you look at the standings here, updated through March 30th, you see Golden State out of the play-in tournament. And the Clippers had a big loss yesterday to the Cleveland Cavaliers. We'll talk about the Memphis Grizzlies, who are only a game above Golden State in the standings at this point. But the Timberwolves, they got a big win over the Detroit Pistons. However, they're going to have some suspensions coming soon for Minnesota because they got into a massive brawl with Detroit last night. Insane stuff. Golden State's kind of seeing a couple things fall their way here as we get to the home stretch of the season. But man, it's a huge, huge win. And like I said, not because of who they beat, just because of the situation that's going on right now. Golden State now controls their own destiny for the rest of the regular season. If they went out, I mean, it's not entirely likely with the schedule that they have upcoming, but if they do, like, they're going to be out of the play-in. Like, they control their own destiny at this point. And the team that's in front of them, the Memphis Grizzlies, they face a very tough schedule ahead. Keep in mind, they just fired their coach, as they are less than 10 games away from being a playoff team. Fired their coach. So they're in total disarray right now. John Morant's not playing here. He's not playing there. He came back for the last couple of games, and he's been great. But the Grizzlies have 2 tough opponents, including our guys, the Dubs, tomorrow on April 1st. Tonight, though, they play the Celtics. So getting a back-to-back against 2 postseason teams, one of them being the presumptive NBA favorite to win it all this year. Grizzlies could slip these 2 games, and Golden State could be ahead of them by a half game by April 2nd's time, with 7 games left to go in the regular season for Golden State. The Grizzlies are slipping right now, and the Golden State Warriors must take advantage of it. If you can't beat the Memphis Grizzlies, not only are you probably going to put yourself out of position to get the 5 seed, but you're also probably going to give yourself a really good shot at landing in the play-in tournament, which we know nobody in Dub Nation wants. Steve Kerr has said the 6th seed is the goal. They got to go out there and take care of business against a team in Memphis who's on the ropes right now. On the back half of today's show, we will talk about the Warriors and Spurs game, and not necessarily, again, we're not really talking about the Spurs and who they were out there on the court. I got a couple individual performances that I want to discuss, and hopefully some guys who have righted their ships on the way to the postseason. We'll talk about that in just a moment. But first, make sure you are hooked up with our proud sponsor, Prize Picks. Prize Picks is America's #1 daily fantasy sports platform because it's daily fantasy made easy. Here's how it works. Just pick a sport, pick multiple sports if you want to, combine them, and just pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections, whether it's basketball, hockey, baseball's in season now, but they also got bowling, darts, golf, esports, the whole 9 on Prize Picks, and you can win up to 1,000 times your money watching your favorite sports. Prize Picks is always trying to hook you guys up with incredible deals as well, like a free $50 in your account when you sign up using our promo code CLNS and place your first $5 entry. They got Taco Tuesday, where they discount stat projections. Flex Friday, where if you lose your entry, they give it back to you in promo funds up to $20. But I've been saying all this gibberish. How about I show you guys an entry that I have on Prize Picks for the Final Four in San Antonio? I say the stars come out in the Final Four. So that's what I'm going with here. Cooper Flagg, more than 18.5 points against the Houston Cougars. Tough defense, but Flagg's up for the challenge. LJ Cryer, the best player on that Houston Cougar team. Give me more than 16.5 points for him at the guard spot. He's going to hit some big shots. And then Tahad Pettiford, the stud freshman over in Auburn. He is a big shot maker and a fearless player on the offensive end. Give me more than 14.5 points for him. You can tail my picks. You can fade my picks. Make sure you go and do it at Prize Picks. Download the Prize Picks app today. Use the promo code CLNS for $50 instantly when you place your first $5 entry. You don't even need to win to receive the $50. It's guaranteed. Prize Picks. Run your game. All that information will be clickable down in the comment section and description of today's video. Feels like the Golden State Warriors found their shot against the San Antonio Spurs. And let's be honest, San Antonio, especially without Victor Wembanyama, is one of the worst defensive teams in the NBA. They just do not defend the outside shot, and Golden State took full advantage of that last night. But keep in mind, Golden State over the past few games has been getting open looks from 3. They just haven't been hitting them. But oh my goodness, 21 of 44 from long range for the Dubs last night, nearly 50% from deep, and 42 assists. Are you kidding me? On 56 made baskets? I mean, these guys were swinging the ball around, and everybody was hitting shots. I mean, Kevon Looney hit a three-pointer last night. That's how you know everything was going right for the Dubs, winning by 42 over San Antonio. 42 assists! I mean, the Spurs even played well offensively themselves. 30 assists on 40 made baskets. Are you kidding me? And nobody got hotter in that third quarter where Golden State really just took this game away than Brandin Podziemski. Unbelievable performance out of Pods. I mean, he hit 4 triples as the Warriors went on an 18-0 run there in that third quarter, went up by 40, and the game was really over. I mean, like, Pods barely played in the fourth quarter. Curry, Draymond, Steph didn't play in the fourth quarter. It was awesome to see Golden State just get a coast-to-coast nice win. They finally punched somebody in the mouth this time around against San Antonio after 2 previous opponents being inferior in Atlanta and Miami, and they got socked. And even in the Pelicans game, they kind of got rocked in the first couple of minutes. But Pods was cool, calm, and collected. He was hitting shots. He was fearless out there. It was a quick trigger because he knew he had it in him, and he also dropped in 5 dimes, 6 boards. Like, this guy just does it all. Drew another charge out there. Like, he is one of the most impactful players on this roster, and I continue to owe him apologies for how I spoke about him in the beginning of the season. He has been awesome, and he's going to be an integral part to Golden State's success if he is shooting the ball the way that he should be, 7 of 9 from long range. And then the other guy who honestly kind of took this game over for a little bit in that second quarter, Moody with a 20 spot. Okay, Moody, 3 for 6 from deep. Yeah, haven't seen Moody hit multiple three-point shots in what feels like a month. And he has been absolutely abysmal from long range as of late. He's had the open looks, don't get me wrong. But he finally found his stroke against San Antonio. And if he can keep that up, if he can be just even close to a 40% three-point shooter throughout this regular season stretch and into the playoffs, the Warriors' ceiling goes up so exponentially. When Steph is out there on the floor, Moody is better. When Moody is playing good defense and turning it into offense, he can get into more of a rhythm. When he's playing big minutes, he can shoot the ball better. More opportunity means more success for Moody. He was absolutely awesome last night, and he continues to be one of Golden State's best on-ball defenders, constantly getting matched up against the opposing team's best guard. But those two were just 2 of many players who absolutely balled out against San Antonio last night. Who was Golden State's MVP versus the Spurs? Let me know who cooked down in the comment section. Drop a name for me. We're going to go back to some other players on Golden State's roster that absolutely cooked. Butler wasn't necessarily insane, but he continues to be an elite connector for Golden State. Like, so many times I see Butler drive into the paint and then just do like a lap around the painted area, and he'll go find somebody that's out, open for a 3-ball outside, or somebody who's cutting to the basket. He hasn't really been that apex scoring threat that maybe we're going to need in the postseason, but he is continuing to refine his game and build better chemistry with his teammates and know where guys will be on the basketball court. And he continues to make the right plays day in and day out. Butler has been sensational, and the Warriors have the most points off turnovers in the NBA since Jimmy Butler has entered the fold. And that's probably a big testament to his efforts on the defensive end and his ability to connect on offense as well. Steph kind of matched Jimmy. Didn't really have to put up too many attempts last night. 4 for 10, like, he wasn't great, but like, he never really needed to get in a crazy heater last night. Everybody was doing their job against San Antonio. 2 for 4 from 3, like, I'll take it. And another 6 dimes. Like, Golden State was sharing the rock last night, and we didn't need a big performance from Steph. It was super, super awesome to see the rest of the Warriors roster step up and be able to have success without Steph playing hero ball. Also, Draymond, who, he had a little 5-point stretch there in that third quarter that was awesome. He's hitting a couple threes. I mean, everything went right for Golden State last night, and Draymond continues to be the anchor of this team, both on offense and on defense. If they didn't have him, they would not be a serious contender in the West whatsoever. QP played solid. I mean, Golden State just got good performances from everybody across the board. I mean, like I said, Kevon Looney hit a 3. Everything was going right for the Dubs. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel, though, because when we get new information on that Jonathan Kuminga injury, we'll be bringing it to you right here at Warriors Today. So for daily news and rumors, live shows and more, because we'll be live for the Memphis game tomorrow on Tuesday. Lock us in. Hit that big red sub button. Totally free. We'll see you guys all in the next one. And as always, let's go Dubs.